Good.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. Thanks, David. As David said, I'm here to talk about getting brands to funny. And what that means is working with brands to create stuff that isn't just entertaining, but is also successful advertising. And I think a lot of us have seen this. Something's really funny, but you have no idea what it is. So, yeah, funny jizz? Funny biz. Okay. So, this being the best conference ever, we're going to start with a little scatological humor. How many of you have seen the commercial, I Ship My Pants? So raise your hand if you've seen this. Most people have seen this, but just as a refresher, if you haven't seen it.
Ship my pants? Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
So, this spot was super, super successful, right? 22 million hits on YouTube, every possible TV station, tons of memes. Let's see if this works, including maybe a Gandhi meme, I'm not sure. I ship my pants in Gandhi, maybe it's a political statement if anyone wants to inform me afterwards. But the question is, this commercial. How many of you know what brand made this commercial? So on the count of 3, give it your wildest guess if you've seen it. If you haven't, give it your wildest guess anyway. Who made this commercial? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, Kmart. I heard some other stripper nation. That's not correct. Nice job, but way off the mark. So some of us knew that. I watched this spot probably 4 times on TV, and I still couldn't remember who made it. So, brand presence, is it there? Not so much in this commercial. So what that really means is entertainment. It's not equal advertising. Those of you that have seen this commercial, how many of you since seeing it have actually shipped your pants? I mean, I've shipped my pants right on stage before, but never by Kmart. So what we're saying really here is this commercial, fantastic, super entertaining, amazing cast, well edited, but maybe not the best example of advertising that provides some connection to the brand or connection to the product. So we obviously know that brands are using humor more than ever before. Almost half of all ads are funny, and also because of social media. Social media is really seen much more as an entertaining platform than, say, an instructional platform. So you're going to watch a lot more videos about cat fails than about how to shave your cat. If you do, I don't want to know any more about it. Let's go back one. It's working. Humor's working really well for a lot of brands, but because everyone's using it, it's also going a little overboard. I mean, I don't know what the hell is happening in this ad. One could argue that Hamburger Helper had nowhere to go but up in this situation. But it's getting overdone, and so many people are really going way heavy on the entertainment side. But as content makers, we know that people are coming to us and paying to advertise for them. So we can't just provide something that's entertaining. So being successful doesn't just mean being funny or being entertaining. There's a lot more to creating successful advertising than just being funny. And we've heard so many wonderful things today about how to be funny, and this is really about how to apply it. So how do we get brands to the right kind of funny? How do we get brands to put out something funny that afterwards you go, oh man, I loved that Hamburger Helper. I gotta go out and get it right now because it makes me laugh. And that's where I come in. This is a photo. If you Google Annie Sloan, this will come up. This is my slightly more famous nemesis, Annie Sloan. She's like a rural British Martha Stewart. If I ever meet her, we'll have to knife fight to the death, and she looks like she'll probably win. But what I do is I work with brands to create great content. Often marketing people or people that work for brands say, oh, we have this really great idea, but an idea is not enough to execute it into a great advertisement. So that's where I come in. And how I do that is with 4 magic steps. Step 1, get some strategy and align with marketing goals, AKA know how to sell shit. So you're gonna need to know what you want to get out of it. Do you want to get brand presence out of it? Do you want everyone to know that your brand exists? Or do you want everyone to know that you ship pants for free? What exactly do you want to get out of it? Also, something that brands often do, particularly in this tech world, is they go for likes. And going for likes in social media is great, but as a brand, like, I'm not gonna like something from Netflix, even though it's funny. My cousin posts a video of him shaving his cat, it's gonna get a like on it. But likes really aren't anymore the metric of success for brands, it's linger time. So if you can figure that out, linger time and click-through time of someone saying, oh, that's really funny, I wanna go to the next step with that. Also, know who you're talking to. Are you talking to men? Are you talking to women? Sometimes they have different types of humor. Are you talking to old people? Are you talking to young people? I have a really great example of this. I made a video that went viral a few years ago, really big, fun, million hits, and then I had all these brands coming to me and saying, we want to make a viral video about a blender, or we want to make a video about a solar-powered vibrator, or a penguin toy that's made by 6-year-old engineers, just the weirdest things, because everyone was wanting to make viral videos. And these people, came to me, there we go, asking to make a video. And I know I just said vibrator, but get your minds out of the gutter, this is a diabetes pen. And I thought, okay, well, humor and the healthcare industry is a really hard combination anyway. But also, this is several years ago, the people who are using this device aren't the people who are hanging out on YouTube. So you gotta know what you're going for. Viral seems like this big lottery ticket, but make sure you're trying to reach the right audience. Strategy, also create something that goes beyond money. So DJ was talking about this earlier. Create something that has a story behind it. So maybe it's not just, I shot this funny video, it's something the actor did was funny, something the way it was shot was interesting, someone got hit with a beanbag chair and sued us, something funny like that. Think about the PR headline. Think about what someone can write about your commercial or your spot more than just the actual spot. This is a good example. Geico made a spot with a talking pig, and 1 million moms, of course, said bestiality charges against Geico. So this is great. Anytime you anger 1 million moms, so this is some takeaway, anger the Christian right, and your spot will go really far. For instance, this spot being on ABC News, that was worth so much more money than the actual Geico spot in the first place. Step 2, check yourself. Know your voice or make your voice. For instance, this is a photo of me in middle school. You can see the resemblance. This is actually a Skittles commercial. So Skittles has done a really great job of really getting into what we call advertising. Really weird, quirky stuff. And 20 years ago, who knew what Skittles had a voice? As anyone here, can you think of a voice of Skittles when you looked at some Skittles 20 years ago? Now, Skittles has a really strong voice, and when you look at a Skittles bar or whatever the heck they create, or some Skittles growing out of a unibrow, you know exactly what their voice is. And that voice shouldn't be just quirky, because we can all be funny, but what is the distinct voice of your brand being funny? Also, find the right way in. Certain things are not funny, they're boring. Bankruptcy, not funny. I've tried many times, but it's not funny. Insurance, not directly funny. So if you can get around that, that's why insurance companies love humor. Their product is absolutely fucking boring. So that's why they have really fun people doing it. They have quirky, lizards and stuff like that doing. So find the right way in. Next, offend the right people, including yourself. So what I mean by that is don't mock the people that buy your stuff. That's a really easy hit, right? But those are the people buying your stuff, and you are trying to sell something, not just make a viral video. Also, don't mock yourself. It can be really fun for a short term too, but once again, mocking yourself is just gonna have people not want your product, so you can't be the butt of your own jokes, unless you're Charmin. And Charmin can do no wrong. Charmin can make any joke, and no one else can, like Charmin. Step 3, find the right balance. Don't make it all about the product. I think that's kind of a no-duh moment, right? Don't make it all about your product, but don't leave your product out, and don't leave it till the end. Something that we've found that's really interesting is when you put a product at the beginning of a spot, a humor spot, everyone remembers it. They go, oh yeah, that really funny Coke ad, that was great. When you leave the product to the very end, people don't remember the product. They think, oh, that ad was so funny. Who made it again? And also make what will get shared, but with the right risk. And of course, we're all going, duh, make something that'll get shared. But there are certain risks to that. For example, the top ad is for Bud Light. It was for a swear jar. So every time someone in the office swore, they put a quarter in, they bought Bud Light with it. It was super funny. It got shared up the wazoo. The bottom spot was their follow-up spot, which was called Clothing Drive. And what that means is if you took off one piece of clothing, you got a free Bud Light. That spot was probably funnier than the first spot, but people didn't share it because it has creepy naked dudes in it. You know, like, I'm not gonna watch that. I didn't watch it at work because I was worried someone's gonna walk up behind me and think I was watching some porn with those two. I'm not gonna send it to my mom without some caveat that says, hey, this is a really funny spot, but there are some naked guys in it, right? So you can make a spot with the dirtiest humor and audio, but if you want it to get shared a lot, sometimes you have to keep it a little more clean visually. And make it as universal and timeless as you need to. You know, so much of humor is based on context and timing, and that's why it works. It's trending stuff, and that's why it's funny. But if you need it to be sustainable, or you need it to be more than a gag and go on for a year and be a campaign, you have to have a campaign that does more than just a quick hit on what's happening with FIFA. In the same way, universal humor. So that's why, interestingly enough, a lot of humor spots don't win ad awards because they don't translate very well. Humor does not translate very well internationally. Even if it's just something that's in the United States and Canada, say, it doesn't translate as well. For instance, Harvey Nichols, this British brand, made Sorry I Spent It on Myself campaign, which was hilarious. Hilarious in England, but if it was in the United States, 1 million moms would be all over it. We're all moral degenerates. This is a spot.
Nou, dit is dus de huis.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go back one. So next I'm gonna show you a spot that does work. It's as timeless and it's totally universal. And for all you German speakers, get really excited right now.
Nou, dit is dus de huiskamer. En dan komen we hier bij de slaapkamer. Oh ja. Met...
And why that worked, you don't need any words at all to show that. You need 0 words. It works in every part of Europe. It works in the United States. It works in China. It works absolutely everywhere because it's timeless and it's also universal. Step 4, trust no one. No one. Work with actual writers. So a lot of times marketing people will say, oh, we have this really great idea for a spot. And often it is a really good idea, but you gotta work with comedy writers to get the timing right. You have to work with professionals. I think we should all give ourselves a round of applause because a lot of us are comedy writers here. So great work, everyone. Hire. Work with actual actors. Comedy is hard. It's really hard. So trying to make comedy with athletes or animals makes it so much harder, particularly when you have a short amount of time to work with them. Maybe you have 2 hours with talent, you get 2 takes. Even with good actors, sometimes they're both shit. So if you're working with an athlete, think of something slow, beautiful music. You want to buy his watch. I love you, Michael Phelps. You do an amazing job. But when you try to work with actors to make, athletes to make comedy, you end up with something like this.
When I started training for Beijing, I wanted to learn Chinese, so I got Rosetta Stone. They say it's the fastest way to learn a language, guaranteed. Fast. I like that.
Obviously, Michael Phelps is a great athlete. He's been hitting up a few of the dispensaries in California. It's all good. But working with athletes, making spots is really, really a big gamble. And this is my last slide of step 4. And if there's anything you take away from this whole presentation today, I just want you to remember, trust no one and don't fall in love. The happiest slide all day. And what that means is often you pitch an idea and you think the idea is great and you really sell the idea, but don't fall in love with it because it's gonna go through a lot of stages. It's gonna go through production, it's gonna go through editing, test, show it to people who have nothing to do with what you do. Show it to different types of people, and don't fall in love with the idea. Also, if you shoot something, often when you're on the shoot, there's all these fun inside jokes, and it's really, really funny, but that doesn't often translate to a final edited piece. So make sure at every step to not fall in love with the idea. Wow, 3 seconds. High five, Annie. Any questions?
Hi. My company is undergoing a brand refresh right now in the US, and that includes a voice refresh. So we're bringing a lot more humor into our United States copy, but at the same time, we're moving into Germany as well. So looking at the Heineken commercial and seeing how, not leaning on the copy to bring across the humor, that can be a universal way to, show humor. But what about, if we're translating our website for Germany, how can we bring in our brand personality, but our German focus groups showed that Germans are not responding to a folksy voice, and a more business-like tone is what they're more a fan of.
I would work with someone who is a native German that is a copywriter, that knows how to write brand voice, and even if it's already written in English, to take a pass at colloquialisms. There's so many different types of humor, and even the way we structure grammar changes the way we're funny. So getting someone that's not just a copywriter, but someone that can take a pass at it for humor. Cool. Any other questions? Want to see that Michael Phelps spot again? All right, then. So 4 steps: get some strategy, check yourself, find the right balance, and trust no one. And I made it into an acronym, GIFT, the gift of insidiousness, advertising, which is necessary in so much of what we do. So thank you.
Give him that one up there. Annie Sloan, ladies.